Welcome to the Best Football Show. I'm Brian Baldinger at Baldy NFL. You can find this daily podcast here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday by downloading the free Odyssey app and then finding the Best Football Show, liking it, subscribing to it. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get into these. This is Preview Thursday. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have a separate day. Thursdays is Preview Thursday, a preview to Week 5, and we've got some awesome games this week. It starts in Philly, Denver and Philadelphia. Philadelphia, one of two undefeated teams at 4-0. But Denver has everything it takes to defeat the Eagles. I was there 2 weeks ago when the Rams should have beaten Philadelphia, and at halftime of that game, the Eagles were getting booed off the field. And they were losing in the third quarter of that game, 26-7. They came back and won the game. They blocked the field goals at the end. Jalen opened up the offense. A.J. Brown got busy. But nobody seems too happy in Philadelphia at 4-0. A lot of consternation about the passing offense. Well, I just got one thing to say about that. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan through and through. The guy's 20-1 as a starter over the last 21 games. All right. Last year at this time, the Eagles were 2-2, and he had thrown 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. This year, after 4 games, they're 4-0. He's thrown 5 touchdowns and no interceptions. His most important stat is taking care of the football and winning games, and he could care less about anything else. And so they threw the ball to A.J. Brown 9 times last week. It wasn't 3 go balls, all ended up out of bounds, so they weren't, great opportunities for him. But it's not like they only threw the ball 24 times in the game, and 9 of them went to A.J. Brown. Look, Denver doesn't care about any of that. Denver's got a formula. J.K. Dobbins just had the first 100-yard rushing day for a Bronco team in 38 games. He's given them what they need. They're running 6 offensive linemen out there. Palczewski is the 3rd offensive tackle. They don't care if you know it's a run or not. And the Eagles have struggled defending the run all year. I saw them 2 weeks ago. Blake Corum and Kyron Williams ran right through them. They had a lot of success. Eagles are giving up 4.8 yards a carry. I'm not going to get carried away with statistics, but Philadelphia's got holes on defense that Denver can take advantage of. And they have Sean Payton. I might be wrong about this because I'm going backwards in my memory here, but I think the last time Sean Payton came with a team to Philadelphia, I think he came in the playoffs as a coach of the Saints and beat the Eagles on a Saturday night. I think I'm right about that. Sean Payton had a masterful game plan last week. They're playing all these young players. They're rookie wide receivers, young wide receivers right now, new running back, but the offense line is good and the defense is very good, and they're talented. Their pass rush, 14 sacks this year. They led the league in sacks last year. They give you a lot of 5-man rushes, play a variety of coverages behind it. This is going to be a difficult game for Philadelphia to stay 5-0. I believe the Broncos, even though they played Monday night, they got a short week and they got to travel. This is a good football team, really good team. So I'm sure that Vance Joseph will have his defense ready to go. I'm sure Patrick Surtain would welcome the opportunity to go, cover A.J. Brown at times, not all the time, but at times go up against their wide receiver. It should be a game within a game. This should be a lot of fun. It's my personal favorite game of the week. The next game is Tampa and Seattle. Now, Tampa, fell to Philadelphia last week, but not without a heroic effort from Baker Mayfield. And they're a very injured team. No Mike Evans. We'll see about Bucky Irving. We'll see about Baker. We'll see about all this stuff. And you got to go across the country to Seattle, which is a tough place to play, but they get beat in that building. I like Seattle a lot. I really do. I like their defensive front. Leonard Williams is playing the best football of his life. Byron Murphy looks like a first-round pick at defensive tackle. Jerron Reed, their front is really, really good. They're tough to run against. And you're starting to see the 1-2 punch in the running game of Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Gray Zabel has been everything you could hope for at left guard. They're playing really good up front. And it's, you look at that game against Arizona. They've had 10 days to get ready for this. They went to Arizona last Thursday night, and they beat Arizona at the end, with the field goal, to win the game by a field goal. but they battled on the road on a short week. Now they have 10 days to get ready for Tampa, who's very injured, all right, very well coached. But ultimately, I think this is the battle of the reclamation quarterbacks. It's Sam Darnold. It's Baker Mayfield. They were in the same draft together, 2018. They both had to go through Carolina at some point and go through that misery and bounce around this business. And now they're in stable places. And it's a reminder to everybody that drafts these quarterbacks at the top of the leaderboard, the top of the draft, that it's not just the quarterbacks turn things around. You need coaching. You need players. You need a stable environment. You just need the general manager, coach. Like, you need that sort of that togetherness, the way Jason Light, Todd Bowles is, the way John Schneider, is with Mike McDonald. Like, you need that fit. And both these quarterbacks are in places that they know how to build a team. John Schneider's built a lot of good teams. Jason Light's doing as well as anybody right now. They own the AFC South or the NFC South. Like, these quarterbacks are now, they're having success in organizations that have stability, and they're flourishing as a result. And look, when Mike McDonald didn't like what they were doing at the offensive coordinator spot, they blew him out. Here comes Clint Kubiak. Like, Clint's a good coach, like his dad. Like, when that offense is humming, it's a symphony. So I feel like this game, we're going to talk a lot about that draft of Baker and Sam and everybody that came out, and here they are in stable places years later, and both look like deserving of where they were drafted. All right, the next game is Kansas City and Jacksonville, and I believe, honestly, that this could be a playoff preview, because Jacksonville right now, they lead the league with 13 takeaways in the month of September. I've texted Tony Baselli this week. You get 13 takeaways, you can change any culture. All right, 13 takeaways in 4 games. Like, they're on a record pace right now. And it's Devin Lloyd, it's Jordan Lewis, it's Eric Armstead forcing a fumble at the end of the game last week against Brock Purdy and getting the ball out. It's Oluokwan. Like, I don't know if that, that pace that they're on right now is sustainable. I don't know. But I know this. Anthony Campanelli is a guy that's making a name for himself as new defensive coordinator under Liam Cohen. And he's got those. And you just don't get takeaways in a vacuum. The Chiefs have got to handle as good edge rushers as there is in this business. And Trayvon Walker on one side and, Josh Hines Allen on the other side. Like, they are formidable. And they're forget about whatever numbers they put up in the past. Like, they are improving players, all right? They know how to win one-on-ones. They know how to beat double teams and chips and that kind of stuff. And now inside, you've got Devon Hamilton, you've got Eric Armstead. They're getting pushed inside. And Oluokwan has always been as smart as any linebacker in this league and a playmaker, but now Devin Lloyd is healthy. And the big piece that they've added defensively is Jordan Lewis in the slot. But the Chiefs look different. Getting Xavier Worthy back last week, the offense looked completely different. They now have they were throwing it. It was like Andy Reid in 2004 when he got T.O. Like, the ball was bombs away. And so now they've got 3 guys at receiver that can beat you with speed. Xavier can do it, Hollywood Brown can do it, and Tyquan Thornton can do it. They've got 3 guys that can stretch the field. All of a sudden, Travis Kelce looked really good underneath, and now they're getting this young rookie running back, Braden Smith, out of SMU. They're getting him going. And all of a sudden, the left tackle, Josh Simmons, he's got 4 games under his belt. He's starting to come into his own a little bit, starting to look pretty good at left tackle. And Mahomes played his best game of the year last week. This, I believe, can be a playoff preview. The final game here is Thursday night. We always preview the Thursday night game. And it is San Francisco going to SoFi Stadium to play the Rams. And honestly, I don't know how San Francisco is going to do this, win this game. I know this. The fan base inside SoFi is going to be 49ers. It's going to be a 49er home game. It always is. Okay. I believe there's a formula. Like I don't think Brock Purdy's going. I think it's going to be Mac Jones, which is fine. He won 2 games and had engineered 2 comeback wins to win games as a starter. I think they're fine with him. I don't know who's playing wide receiver for him. It doesn't look like, a lot of their guys are going to go. But to me, this is Christian McCaffrey's game. They need McCaffrey to look like MVP McCaffrey. Now, he's caught the ball really well. He hasn't had the breakout run yet, and they need that. I think San Francisco can protect well enough. The Rams don't blitz a lot. They rely on 4 young defensive linemen that they drafted, and some of these others, some of the other guys they have. But, Kobe Turner and Braden Fisk and Jared Verse, Byron Young. I mean, they rely on those guys to make the plays. But to me, this has got to be Shanahan, Mac Jones, McCaffrey. Like, McCaffrey probably needs 30 touches tonight. He probably needs 150 total yards, maybe more, to make this thing work. They're without a lot of the other, skilled guys at tight end, receiver, whatnot. But that's the formula. The Rams are a good team. I mean, Puka Nacua just put Xavier Howard, into retirement after what he did to him last week. They're going to be challenged by Devontae and Puka. And really, you look at Kyron and Blake Corum, like they're a good 1-2 punch right now. And Stafford has been excellent. And really, it was disappointing to see the effort of the 49ers defensive line last week. And I don't, they're without Nick Bosa. They don't have their leader up there right now. And so it's tough. It's really tough. But to me, if the 49ers are going to stay in this race and get to 4-1 and beat a division opponent, they need McCaffrey to look like McCaffrey circa 2023. All right, everybody, that's Preview Thursday. It's been the best football show. Thanks a lot for joining me, everybody.